All right, Aaron, in this video, we're going to address some things that you can do to continue to get better. And we're going to focus specifically on that leg drive. And I know we talked about that as an area in which you've gotten better, but I know we can get some more out of you here. And if you continue to work on this leg drive and momentum piece, you're going to get yourself in the best possible position to throw pitch after pitch. And you're going to be able to command the strike zone. But more importantly, you're going to be able to throw free and easy and not put the stress on your arm that you might be putting on it. So with that in mind, let's just talk about Tom Glavine real quick and the idea of momentum. As a pitcher, when we get to our knee lift, we want to simultaneously thrust our front hip, as you see right there, towards home plate and drive off this back leg. It's important to drive down the mound as far and as fast as we can, because what that does is that eliminates the margin of error in our delivery. In other words, when we move down the mound with momentum while staying balanced, we're not going to have hiccups in our delivery. And we're going to be able to get to the right spot at the right time consistently. And you can see here, when Tom Glavine's front foot lands, he's in a great position with his elbows. He's equal and opposite. And what I mean by equal and opposite is he wants to match the angle of his glove arm with the angle of his throwing arm. So the angle from shoulder to elbow to wrist on the throwing arm cannot be changed. That's natural. But the angle here with the glove is the thing that we want to get lined up, because this creates balance. And when we get into this position at foot strike, then it's going to help us stay on top of the ball and deliver the ball with great command. Now, you're going to see, because your momentum's not as good, when you get into your foot strike, you're already going to begin to open up for your front side. And that's just because you're a little out of sync. And again, like I said earlier, you're out of sync because you move a little bit slow down the mound. And so when your front foot lands, you can see here with your glove side arm, you've already begun to open up. If I go backwards a few frames, that right there is exactly where you want to be when your front foot lands. But the problem is your front foot hasn't landed yet. And your front foot hasn't landed yet because you're moving towards the catcher a little bit too slow. And so we got to pick up that momentum, because if we can get to this position at foot strike, now we're going to get on top of the ball. And now we're going to throw with less stress on our arm. And now we're going to be able to rip through the pitch with our lead side. So keeping that in mind, let's just focus now on what we can do on our first couple of moves to improve that momentum. And I'm sure you already know the answer to this, but I got to go over it with you just so you can get a good picture of this. All right, so we draw that line, that green line up his back foot, knee, and hip, and we do the same thing here with you, okay? And I want you to watch Glavine. As soon as he picks up his knee, watch him separate. So his eyes are going to track forward. He's going to track his hips towards home plate as well. Starting right now, we get the knee lift, simultaneously leaning in, driving towards home plate, and now he separates the hands. And look at the distance the back hip is generated from this line. And he's working with momentum. Look at the angle of his back leg. Notice how it starts straight up and down, and then it drives towards home plate. So this is the position we want that back leg, with all of our weight driving on the inside of our back leg. Now, when we get you into that same position, we're going to see a couple of things. Number one, let's draw that green dot at your eyes. We'll pick you up into your knee lift. And there's where you break your hands. Now look at, your eyes haven't gone down as much as they used to, but they haven't gone forward either. And look at the difference here. When Tom Glavine separates his hands, how his eyes have tracked forward. That signifies the fact that he's moving down the mound, and you haven't quite done that yet. And look at the difference in your guys' back hip. You haven't created as much separation from this green line. And then finally, look at the difference in the leg drive. It's starting to get better, but it's not quite where it needs to be. So we need to drive a little bit more off this back leg so that we get to this good momentum part. And when we do that, it's going to enable us to get to the right foot strike position. So you see right here, Glavine's in his foot strike, equal and opposite arms. And you'll see right here with you, we're not quite there yet. There's where you need to be, but look where the foot's at, not on the ground. And as a result, when you do land, you're already opening up. So if we can fix those things, I think we're going to see more consistency, more command, and even some more velocity as well.